where it needs to be in our lives. And that is creating boundaries. Let me give you a definition of boundaries. Healthy boundaries are necessary components for self-care. Whether it's in work, our personal relationships, poor boundaries may lead to resentment, hurt, anger, and even burnout. Boundaries help us take care of ourselves by giving us permission to say no to things, giving us permission to say no to things. I say that twice because I want you to get that. And to not take everything on. Oftentimes as mothers, we take on the whole entire world. We ask for no help, and it's simply because we have not created boundaries in our lives. And you may ask, why is it important to set boundaries? Well, personal boundaries are important because they set the basic guidelines of how you want to be treated. Boundaries are basic guidelines, rules that you create and establish how others are to behave in your presence. Sometimes boundaries can ensure, well, not sometimes, but all the times, boundaries ensure that relationships can be mutual, respectful, appropriate, and caring. And let's bring it home a bit. For instance, creating a boundary for your freedom challenged loved one. That would be, for instance, your son or daughter calls you and they may be experiencing a bad day. Maybe one of the CEOs said something to them they didn't like and they took it to heart, and now they're feeling bad and they're kind of like taking it out on the world. They get you, the loving mom, on the phone and they say some unkind things to you. That's your opportunity, moms, to create your boundaries. And how you're going to create that boundary is you politely as you can, kindly as you can, you create a boundary right there in the face on that phone with your freedom challenge loved one. And you say to them, you're either going to stop this behavior of talking to me crazy, of talking to me disrespectful, of talking down to me, of talking to me as if you don't need me. That's real talk, ladies. Oftentimes we allow individuals to say things and do things to us because we have not set our boundaries. But today, once your freedom challenge loved one displays this type of behavior, your boundary is going to be, you're going to hang up that phone. Yes, you're going to hang up that phone. I know some mothers who don't want to hear it, but I'm telling you, this is what you need. This is what your child needs. And you know, I say child because they were born to you. We're dealing with grown men and grown women, and they somehow feel that it's okay for them to speak to you in this manner. But with your boundaries, you're going to say no by telling them you're going to disconnect the call. You're going to allow them to call you back later if you choose. If that is a part of the boundary that you've set for your loved one, then so be it. But if not, you tell them, I'm hanging up the phone now, and you call me back when you can calm yourself, be peaceful, and communicate to me in a respectful manner. But if you cannot do that today or even tomorrow, then don't call me again until you can. In the instance that they call you back, moms, and they are still going at it, you're simply going to hang up the phone. And you're going to continue to hang up the phone. Because if you don't, you're going against the boundary that you have set. And when you don't require individuals to comply with your boundaries, they will walk all over you. So moms, I'm telling you, create your boundaries in different areas in your life that people are being disrespectful to you. Just take what I'm telling you now, create that boundary, create a consequence to individuals breaking the boundary. And I often like to give this so that people can really kind of relate and understand the true essence of boundaries. You know, when my children were teenagers, when they started driving, I would allow them to go, you know, visit with one of their friends in the evening time. After I got home, I was not using my car. or if they wanted to go to the movies or somewhere with one of their friends. But they had to be home. The conditions were they had to be home at a specific time. And also another condition was whatever gas they used out of my car on that trip that they took, it was to be replaced. And they would always put it back on the gas hand, you know, the lever inside that tells you how much gas is in your car. That had to be at the same spot when they bring it back to me versus the, you know, when they took it and used my car. But if they came back and forgot to put the gas back in because they were excited or whatever the case may be, my boundary still said, if you do not replace my gas, the next time you want to use my car, I have to say no. Same thing with our Freedom Challenge loved ones, mothers. You have to say no. I don't care what excuse they give you. Once that boundary is in place, you go ahead and you set it in place and you stick with it. Okay, some first steps in knowing that your rights, knowing that you have rights for a healthy relationship could be to feel safe in a relationship, to have your privacy and boundaries you have created respected, to be heard and listened to feel validated, to be appreciated and valued, to respect the answer no means no, and you have to have your needs met through individuals respecting your boundaries and to be treated respectfully, absence of emotional, physical, or verbal abuse. None of that. No longer, mothers, are we accepting anyone to come into our life, not just our Freedom Challenge loved ones, but anyone that comes into our life. They must behave in the manner that which we have selected to be able to put up with, because stress in your life causes other things in your life. So therefore, we're going to nip it in the bud, and we're setting our boundaries, and we are going to call it so today that our boundaries are going to be set. If you need help in how to set boundaries, again, I am Lisa Renee of Mindset Warriors. I am a life coach as well. You can reach out to me at Lisa Renee at freedomtobeyou.com. I'll put all of my links within the chat here. And for those of you who are readers, I have written this book, and it's called 17 Days Until. You can see that lovely picture there. I love this picture because it reminds me so much of my son and his endurance that he's had through this whole entire process. Again, I am Lisa Renee of Mindset Warriors. I am a life coach, and I have brought today some points about my not only Mindset Warriors, but points about creating boundaries. Join me in the live chat so that we can I can answer your questions. We'll have a live Q&A, and then we'll move forward from there. Thank you so much for joining me.